How do you get better at deployment? Well, that's where you just start small. It kind of brings me on to the next part of the conversation, which is the key principles of what we need to do to deliver these innovations. And it is educating yourself, broadening horizons, looking offshore, things like that. But it is anchoring your technology and customer needs. So technology and innovation really is subservient to what your customers need and where they're going. So having a very good understanding of where your customer needs are, then which you do now, and many businesses are actually pretty good at understanding that. All you're then doing, instead of saying, well, I'm going to meet those needs with my existing business operating model, you're broadening to say, oh, there's a whole lot of new technologies coming. And which you're learning which ones are appropriate to deploy for your business. And then you're taking small bets and you're piloting and trialing. And I think that's the best way to do it, is to pilot and trial. Obviously, if you're a bigger business and you've got, more cash flow and more ability to invest, your pilots can be a lot bigger. But piloting and trialing and playing with it, working it out, and then working out which ones are giving you the most success for your business and your model is a good way to deploy the technology. What we tend to do is have a look at what customers want and then go straight to our existing technology that we know about already to deploy. That's the bit you've got to disrupt, is to not go to just the existing technology, but to broaden your horizons into these new technologies and opportunities, and be open and minded enough to see, what that could look like and how that could play out. So tech innovation is just an enabler. It is not the end game. It is definitely not. It is all about the customer. The other one is for those of you who have the ability and want to do investment in R&D. Obviously we play a big support role there, and the R&D tax incentive is designed to help you do more research and development, so you can develop these ideas, you can get them to a pilot stage, and we are sharing that investment risk with you, and then you can work out how you deploy them as you come across the successful solutions. And you will come across a lot of successful solutions. The other thing is to fail fast. Small bets, fail fast. Don't invest for years in it. If it's not looking like it's working, put it on the shelf. Don't forget about it, because it might come in a bit later when you find a different solution, but put it on the shelf and get into the next one. Often we only do 2 or 3 things and we stick at those for a little too long. And the final thing that I would say is in regards to your talent strategy. We don't have enough tech talent in the world, actually. And so how you're thinking about what types of tech talent you might need. Do you need software engineers? Do you need product managers? Do you need designers who can come in and do your service design? What do you need? And then thinking about how you go and source that. And how you source that in new models. So we're used to an environment where we have all the resources ourselves. And the world that we're heading into is a lot more sharing of resources. So as an industry, I'd be encouraging you, with the support of your industry bodies, to develop up talent in this tech space that you can share across the industry. Many businesses don't need a full-time chief technology officer, or they don't need a full-time UX designer. You can actually share those resources across businesses at the same time. So I would be thinking about how you get your industry bodies to be supporting you to develop a talent strategy for your sector, and then how you're able to support that and share talent across the sector. Let's go back to some more questions. I think the biggest mental block for people would be they just don't know what they don't know, and they're not open-minded enough to follow it through to see where it could go. And I think in New Zealand, we're really proud people. We don't necessarily like putting our hands up for help. And so the culture is not one of, I don't know, can you help me? We tend to keep persevering ourselves. And so when you put that mindset up against the shift that's happening at the moment, which is a plethora of information complexity, a plethora of technology, a massive shift in how consumers want their services delivered to them and how they want to experience them, plus all the trends that we're seeing in climate and sustainability, inclusivity, diversity, etc. That's a lot for us as leaders to individually get our heads around. And so the world that we're heading into is what we call one of collective intelligence. How do you let the computers do a lot of the processing of that information work for you? And then you are there to make the judgments and decisions as to what happens. So one of the biggest problems I see with leaders is they think they can still do it all. They think they can process all this information coming through. They can process all this technology and make all the decisions themselves. You simply can't. There's too much volatility, too much uncertainty in where we're going for you to do that. So that's a massive mind shift away from kind of individual expertise and brilliance to collective expertise, utilization, tapping that, and building communities and networks to help you make these decisions rather than going on it on your own yourself. The last one is the new innovations in construction are hard to cut through. Sluggish dinosaur that's resistant to change. I mean, this is the hardest one. All too often as businesses and individuals, we leave it to the last minute in terms of when we've got ourselves into a crisis state. And it's that recognition of, is that the place you want to go, either as a business or an industry? Is that you leave this for so long because you can't see it. You're forgetting that there's many other entrepreneurs that can see the opportunities in your industry, and they are lurking now, and they are working out how they use this disruption to come in and attack your business models and your industry, because it is massively ripe for disruption. You've got incredibly low investment in R&D, so there's not a huge amount of innovation going in, and there's massive opportunities for technology. When you think about hardware, sensors, augmented reality, virtual reality, in regards to whether that's how you bring to life your new designs, whether that's how you train your people from a health and safety perspective, through to the information that's going to come out across those sensors and how we can use that. All of that is sitting ready, waiting to go, with people hungry to come and eat your lunch. So the biggest question I leave with you is, do you want to leave it that long and be that industry that declines, or do you want to disrupt yourself and at least try to set the rules of the new game? And so I certainly know where I would rather be. At the end of the day, it is only your industry that can make that decision. And, you know, whether you choose to listen to the likes of not just me, but many other people who have made comments around the construction industry, this is a massive opportunity for you. We're disrupted already. It's a big opportunity for you to build into the future business models using technology and innovation. So that is your call. We are here at Callaghan Innovation to support you to do that. We have, you know, funding to support. We have experts to support, etc. Things like that. So that's your at the end of the day, that's your call. And you know, I just really hope that you do move a little faster, so that you're not left really stranded and struggling, you know, in the next 2 to 3 years. Yep, I'm totally open to, you know, if I've unintentionally offended you in terms of calling you dinosaurs, my apologies. And, you know, I get that, and you're entitled to your views on that. Absolutely. I also agree with the next question in regards to regulation, and that regulation is not keeping pace enough with technology and innovation. And so we are facing the same situation in regards to regulation, that is not evolving fast enough then to support you to implement and deliver some of these new ideas around technology and innovation. And so in regards to loosening regulation, it really is in how you as an industry have really strong relationships with the likes of government, your regulation bodies, with ourselves, etc., so that we can be, you know, presenting, I guess, a common view on what regulation is holding you back, how that needs to iterate to then enable you to deliver technology and innovation. Sorry, Tara. Sorry about that. And so for me, I do worry that in New Zealand we are exceptionally strong at standing up regulation that facilitates new industries. So you look at how quickly we've galvanized around space and we have a whole space industry now. We're incredibly strong there. Where we struggle is where we need regulation to evolve for existing industries. So, I think there's quite the conversation you need to have at industry level in regards to what regulation is holding you back, where that needs to go to enable you to deploy technology and innovation faster. So hopefully that helps with that one. Okay, I think that's kind of all the questions that I've got. Hopefully that was useful.
That's brilliant.
And best of luck, and we're here to help you and support you at Callaghan Innovation. We've got a lot of ways that we can do that. Thank you for your time, and kia kaha.
Really appreciate it. I feel like you've kind of cracked open another can of worms. It's so good to have someone outside the industry bring in some fresh thinking. It's hard, it's challenging, but it's also really exciting because there's opportunities amongst all that pain. So thanks so much. Really appreciate your time and your thoughts. And
you're welcome.
excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks.